Yo, what's up, everybody? Tonight here, this is Super Ninja Austin, your host of the SNA podcast, which is the 76th episode tonight, where we're going to talk about the latest edition of AEW Dynamite, Return to Wednesdays, and this is our 10th review of AEW Dynamite. Let's begin. We're going to talk about the main event of the Battle Royal of the Dynamite Dozens for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And we're going to start off with the episode of Dynamite with Switchblade Jay White taking on Penta El Zero Miedo in a non-title match, because obviously Jay White's not actually the champion. He stole it from MJF a couple weeks ago, but we're going to get to that later on. But anyway, this is where, before the match even started, and even let alone Jay White entering the ring to face Penta, this is where Penta beat him to it, which is the smartest move that Penta has ever done and a top babyface have ever done while facing the Switchblade men. This is where he hits a diving somersault senton right onto him and the rest of the Bullet Club Gold. This is where, but no, wait, he didn't hit Jay White. He only got Juice Robinson in the guns. My apologies. But this is where Jay White came in and attacked him from behind. After he thought he got all four men. This is where he tried to throw him right towards Simba to steal steps, but he springboarded off that and hit a diving arm drag right onto Jay White and hits a running sling blade after he got back up from that. This is where Penta was like, hello, my good people. And this is where to the fans, and this is where he Irish whips him back into the ring. This is where Penta El Zero Miedo was on the top rope. He goes for a double foot stomp. As soon as he did that, that's when the referee started the match. To ring the bell, the starting of the match. This is where he pins Jay White, but we got a 2.1 count, which Jay White kicked out, of course. This is where Penta kind of argued with the referee a little bit, but he's like, no matter, okay, I'm still gonna win and be the first ever one to beat him in the singles match. He hits him with a knife edge chop to Jay White, try to Irish whip him right to the bottom left corner of Tina the turnbuckle, but he got countered by Jay White. He went for a springboard dodge right onto Jay White when he tried to go for it. And then he landed right onto Jay right when he was on the top and hit him with a most amazing backstabber. Not exactly the number one, but I would say number two or number third backstabber in the world of professional wrestling. This is where he tried to pin Jay White, but he only got one. He got two, and he got a 2.8 count, which was nearly a near fall. This is where Jay White rolled out of the ring in a smart manner, so he won't use all his energy and get smushed and mushed by the former NXT AEW Tag Team Champion Penta El Zero Miedo and one half of the Lucha Bros. When he tried to go for a running dive, this is where he gets distracted by Austin Gunn. He pulls onto his leg. This is where he noticed this. He was like, "Hey, what the hell is that all about? Why are you trying to trip me when you unsuccessfully did so? But even though you slowed me down in the process, but what was their point if it's not going to be fully successful?" And this is where when they started talking trash. The three members of the Bullet Club go saying you're not going to beat our leader. You're just going to be the next sacrificial lamb. This is where it seemed like that was the case. He tried to go. This is where Jay White tried to sneak back in the ring. He tried to go for a roll-up, but he got countered and backfired by Penta. This is where he got him in the most devastating move in all sports championship surprise roll. He kicks out of the pinfall, though. This is where Penta helps him with a roundhouse kick. Try to go for his signature sit-out pile driver that he usually does, Zero Miedo. This is where Jay White went right to the corner. He pushed him out of the way and rolled out of it. This is where he went right to the bottom right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where Penta tried to run right towards what's his name, Jay White, but he got dodged and moved out of the way, hit him face first, right into the Tina the turnbuckle in the bottom right corner. This is where he started repeatedly doing that a couple of times. Hit him with a DDT. And then Jay White was slowly but surely trying to get up from the doing that DDT. This is where he tried to go for it. Finally went for the penta. This is where he kicks out at 2.6 or 7 seconds. This is where Jay White hits a spinning swinging neck breaker. This is where he pins him for another attempt to penta. This is where he only gets a 2 count again, like a 2 even count. This is where Jay White was like, you better keep counting. You better count the 3 or else. I was like, man, like, why are you threatening the referee when he's only doing his job? Like, this is like one of the 2 best referees in AEW right now, like him and Aubrey Edwards. So why are you yelling at him when he's doing his job and focusing and paying attention to the match? Anyways, this is where Austin Gunn went right on camera saying, "Guns up, baby." I was like, ew, like that's very ugly. And this is where he went for a suplex, like right onto the middle of the ring. This is where he tried to pin Penta, but he only got another 2 count fall. And this is where Jay White gets Penta back up, kicks him in the left knee, try to go for a striking back fist, but he gets what's his name, dodge, ducks, and do a super kick, a massive super kick right into the midsection of the Switchblademan. This is where Penta was like, all right, are you ready? And he tried to go for a flying monkey flip. This is where Jay White flipped him, put him on the top rope, hits him with a devastating knife edge chop. Like Bobby not as devastating as a Gunther, but possibly Gunther probably still would see this though, and he'll be more envious with this chop, the latest chop as of late, and he's gonna probably add Jay White into the list of him murking with his deadly knife edge chop. And then this is where he hits a suplex face buster right onto the apron with Penta. This is where Jay White started arrogantly flexing his muscles. And this is where he started doing the gun bump right into both Juice Robinson and Austin and Colton Gunn, guns up. And then this is where he puts Penta back in the ring. He rolls back in there with him. This is where he pins Penta. He only gets a 1. He only got the 2, but he got a 2.9 count. I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I'm not sure if I'm ready to see Penta get ready to win, to lose. But even though Jay White is doing a well successful job being the undefeated single star in AEW right now, and I believe he should stay that way until he faces MJF at Full Gear. And anyway, this is where he started tying Penta's mask. I get the string parts that ties his mask together. He started tying it right into the big laces of his mask in the back of his mask. He started tying them right to the left corner ropes, and they started trying to hold that so he won't do nothing while he's stomping the mud hole right into his head and midsection. And he was repeatedly doing that for like 10 straight times in a row. Tuffrey was doing his count and letting them know that if he don't stop at 5, he's going to have to DQ him. This is where Jay White got the point at 3. This is where he's like, all right, I get. This is where he goes back, somehow got his laces on the back of his mask untied. This is where he picks them up. This is where he knees him right in the midsection, like two times in a row. This is where he hits a one arm underhook suplex right through the top to the top left corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where he goes for the pin right into that corner, and this is where the referee counted 1, the referee counted 2, but Penta kicks out another 2.999 count. And then what else? Let's see what happens. This is where Penta got back in the match. This is where he hits the comeback moves. He throws Jay White outside of the ring. This is where he finally hits the diving senton maneuver. And even though that's not his exactly finishing move per se, but it's like an OMG finishing move like on WWE 2K. But yeah, like my statistic, my theorized, I should say, but my theory statistic that like when a signature or finish move wasn't successfully executed, like then it's gonna be a guaranteed the second time. But that seemed like that was the case because he finally did it on Jay White, did the dive. This is where Penta was back in the match. He throws Jay White back in the ring. He's like, "Oh, you're in trouble now, Jay. Like you're about to be undefeated." I mean, you're about to have your undefeated streak be broken by me. And this is where Penta was like quiet people, and he's like, "Cierra miedo," and he did that right to Jay White's face. And then this is where he hits a very brutally a minor brutally knife edge chop, like something that Gunther would still get pissed off at and trying to kill him. This is where Penta was like, pardon me. And this is right after he did that, and he started saying the glove comes off, and he starts shaking and pulling it off. And then this is where Juice Robinson started being goofy and start hilariously telling Penta to keep the glove back on because they don't want to see his big puffed up hand. And he was like, "Keep it on, no, we don't want to see it." And then this is where Penta completely ignored him, like he does with like all his arch competitors. This is where he tossed it right to Alex Atergentes. He caught I was like, amazingly, he's good at catching. Like, I don't understand how he wasn't a receiver. And this is where he hits a bigger and louder chop on Jay White, like louder than he ever did. And I was like, wow, like, I hope Penta be cautious of doing that because Gunther might be coming after him too. As soon as he gets done with the likes of Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston and now Jay White and then him, like, yeah. When he get through with them three, like, he's gonna go after and the rest of the AEW stars but first he's probably gonna go after WWE wrestlers and then he's gonna go to AEW. But this is where they start doing a chop off. I was like, Penta and Jay, what the hell are you doing? You do not do that move. Don't you ever heard of that? Hear the story of if you do the chops too much in modern pro wrestling, that you're gonna get completely murdered by the man that's the master of that move, none other than the reigning defending Intercontinental Champion. And this is where Jay White continues like, like, I'll be praying for them if they do not get murdered by the deadliest knife edge chop in the world, because they start continuously doing it, like doing one another, like when everybody was booing Jay White when he was doing it, and then Penta did it. Everybody started cheering, but this is where Penta started hitting strikes, right hand strikes. This is where he gets missile drop. I was like, oh, thank God that they stopped doing the chops because you don't want Gunther being after the. And yeah, and then to let you guys know, unaware what I'm talking about, it's just a joke I'm coming up with. So yeah, I'm not being too serious about the chops. It's supposed to be just a wrestling joke about the world of modern day professional wrestling. But this is where Jay White runs right up the Penta. This is where he catches them in the fireman's carry and spin it around and hits a spinning unique Death Valley Driver, which is my signature move in wrestling games like Fight Forever and WWE 2K. And I'll say this is a way too underrated move. Like somebody should win with this Death Valley Driver move. I'll say the only person I actually saw win with this move was none other than Tommy Dreamer. Like, that's the only wrestler I get you to have more respect than it barely has. But anyway, this is where he tried to go for him. We only got 2.999. Like, dang, it's already bad enough the Blue Thunder Bombs being known as the least most devastating move in all sports entertainment. But it looks like the absolute powerful move in all sports entertainment, while the Death Valley Driver is the most maneuver, the most dominating move in all sports entertainment. But this is where he tried to go for his finishing move, which was that El Zero Miedo power driver. This is where Jay White counters him, twists his arm, and grab him by his around his neck and shoulder, and hit him with a spinning Uranagi right onto the middle of the canvas. This is where Jay White picks him right back up because he was going for, I believe, was a brain buster, which he did so afterwards. This is where he went for the pin. This is where referee counted the 1, the referee counted the 2. Penta kicks out soon after 2. This is where Jay White was like, you're not going to win, and I'm not going to let you get away with these kickouts, because nobody kicks out with these maneuvers that Jay of the switchblade. I was like, nobody doesn't kick out the Blade Runner, first of all. And second of all, you never say that. But I'm not sure if you really would say that. But it looks like he's like, you're going to regret. But my point is like, he was telling Penta that he's going to regret kicking out of his moves, even though they're minor than his Brave one. He gave him the fair warnings of hitting him with half Nelson snap suplex. This is where Switchblade Jay White picks him back up. This is where he's like, you know what? I'm going to hit the Blade Runner right now. This is where Penta smartly got out of the move because for two reasons. And then this is where he counters him, hits him with the this pump handle driver maneuver. I believe it's a signature move. But Penta turned him around, spin him around, slammed him in the maneuver. That's where he went for the pin. The referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2, but he kicks out at the last second of 2.999999. 0.01 of a second away from being 3. Penta was like, "Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me!" Okay, this is the last time. This is the try. I was like, he must be triple cursed or not. I don't know. But the second time, I think it was double cursed by from something in wrestling because when he tried to do his finishing move, that zero middle pile driver, he couldn't successfully do it 2 times in a row. And it looks like he was triple cursed because when he tried to go do it for third time as a charm, it looks like it wasn't a charm. It was the third curse into this match because for some reason, like in the statistic, like I said, like if you don't do it the second or third time, then you're cursed or really cursed. And that was what's his name's case because after that, from the distraction of the guns, Juice Robinson hits him with a diamond ring he bought from TJ Maxx, and then he laid out what's his name, Penta. This is where Jay White took advantage, hit him with the Blade Runner for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner of the night was Jay White of the opener against Penta El Zero Miedo. And then what else? Let's see. What's happened next? And then this is where he's talking. This is where Jay White did a post-match promo, talking trash on and rubbish on the fans and MJF, saying hey, shush you fans, no booing. Like I'm not Dominic Mysterio. Well, he didn't say that, but that was what he looked like he was referring to of the loud boos. That's where fans are like, you suck, you suck, you suck. And he's like, no, your scumbag MJF sucks. And he's like, and you know why he sucks? And then because Jay White doesn't like MJF, and he's not a real world champion. It's because he's not a real champion. Like I'm the real world champion. I was like, Jay, like if that was the case, you would have beaten Maxwell for that title in a 1-on-1 contest. But anyways, this is where Jay White was like, I'm the AEW World Champion. And then he was like, and this is where Tony Schiavone made a comment saying that's a common criminal right in the ring because that's the fact that he stole MJF's title. And he's like, and then this is where Jay White said, let's see right here. He's like, hey Max, like I'm still waiting for a very generous alpha. Like as soon as you've taken so, the reason why I take so long because you can't find anybody unless they they can't team up with you. Like other than Adam Cole, the team against us, and the lead, us and the leader right here, the Bang Bang belt holder. You know, Max, like you want to be like a pipsqueak again, like you know. He's like unless you can find somebody like big and incredibly strong and someone that can even the odds in this situation, you can step up to me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna. But in the meantime, what did he say? He's like, you can always pay your gym squad again. That's what he said. And then he was like you get paid for like you did when you attacked me a few weeks ago. You can pay your gym squad again, but until then, like I'm gonna lead by example. And then he's like, Juice, like take it from here. This is where Juice Robinson was like, hello everybody. This is where everybody started doing their boos. And he's like, say, spoiler alert, you people, tonight in your main event of the Dynamite Battle Royal, the Stray Bullet, Rock Hard, Juice Robinson is going to be winning that Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. He called it the Dynamite Dozen douchebag Rattle Royal. Yeah, Rattle Royal. He started laughing like, ha ha, like he usually do with his crazy stuff. He's like, after all, like, I'm throwing everybody single people in the top row and win the right to face MJF from Philadelphia next Wednesday for a stupid ring. And that's much better than from TJ Maxx, by the way. For what he said, which is cost, how much it cost? He did win the right to face MJF in Philadelphia for a stupid ring, which is mine much better for TJ Maxx for $24.99. That's right, $25. Just keep it. This Jacorium, baby. I was like, and like Mama said, like you're just a broke ass that just cannot afford actual jewelry, and you have to go to a store that sells good jewelry, but it's from a clothing store because that's all you can afford. Well. And that's what even my own mom said. She basically roasted him when she saw me watching him tonight. This is where at the Dynamite, and like if we are gonna pawn it, and I promise you, I'm gonna get another go-to right there next matching his twin. I'm like, really? I was like, if I ever had a go-to, I would not put in my lower tooth right here, one of my lower. I would prefer it to be. I'll say anything will be in the corner or my crown is, or somewhere on the side of my top tooth around here if I want golden, but that's my preference, of course. This is where Austin Gunn was like, all right, like, and we got one more thing. Like, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you, and that's guns up. And then that's when they walked out of the ring, and what do you think about this? Like, y'all let me know down in the comments. But there was more into this storyline feud because Renee Paquette happened to interview MJF, and he was saying like, I'm not gonna waste my time having my entrance pop with those 4 losers, and right here in Houston, Texas. Like, nothing against you fans, like. But it's about Jay White, personal. And he was like, and you, Jay White, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get my Triple B back before Full Gear. And then the funny thing is, like, and he also referenced the fact that there was a Comic-Con event back from this past weekend in New York. For most of you that know and most of you didn't know, and one of the stars that were there happens to be a wrestler in their rights, but they're not in AEW, at least not yet. But let's just say they're in a wrestling company that they were at AEW's partnering with. But we're going to talk about that later. But these talking about that, it reminded me of in comedy. I thought, of course, he's going to talk about it because he's obviously from New York. And 2, it happened, and even most wrestling YouTubers were talking about that recently. And anyways, about for one particular reason, this is where he was like, he compared Jay White, saying like Jay White reminds him of these loser fans over in New York's Comic-Con event from this past Saturday and Sunday, and he said, walking out with belts, cosplaying as world champions, like they're wrestlers or superheroes. And I was like, I'm not gonna take offense to this because I am the assassin superhero. But anyways. Yeah, they were cosplaying as every superhero, Star Wars character, like Marvel, DC superhero, and anime and cartoon characters and superheroes and wrestlers holding belts like WWE's championships and AEWs and New Japan and etc. Yeah, and then this where he said, and this is where he went right, and he's like, yeah. And then, anyways, yeah, he was saying like he like cosplaying is world champion, and that's what reminded me much of you when you stole my AEW championship. And this is where he went and said a few words to Juice Robinson afterwards. He started saying, like, if you win tonight in the main event, like if you do next week, it'll be the left hand of the rod against the right hand of the devil. And he's like, when I give me, and he's like, and he said, like, and I'm gonna hit it, and this will be full of blood, and then it won't be in my hands. Like it'll be in the hands of your leader, Switchblade Jay White. He said it in a very pissed off and loud and high carried voice, angry voice, I should say, when he said it in the process. This is where Max Caster did his next stalking tactic on the MJF. He's like, hey, Maxwell, hey, Renee. I was like, dude, like, I'm not sure if he's homo or BI, but he's always keep hitting on Renee Paquette and MJF. I was like, what is up with this? There's a lovely romantic feeling with MJF. Like, it's getting very odd. Like, MJF's not like that. Like, if anything, like, he's more of a woman, more like a woman's man. Like, yeah, like, with all due respect, of course. This is where Max Caster was like, hey, Max, like, look, if you want your world title back from Jay White, they said it, the 8-man tag, like us, me, you get all the belts, and then we can scissor after we win. And that's where he said, and then MJF jokingly said, like, oh, we're going to scissor. And he shut his fingers that was getting ready to scissor, teasing, like, make it sound like they scissor. I was like, I don't think they scissor. I think they rather punch. Even though they're not going to actually hit each other, like punch each other in the face, which you all, some of you guys that catch the GIF, y'all already know, but I'm not going to talk about that. That'll lose my rights of being a PG-rated journalist. But this is where MJF was like, I don't know. Like, okay. And this one, Max Head's like, okay, if you want to be like that, how about I join in the Dime Dozen Battle Royal tonight? I'll win that, and then next week, I'll win that ring, and then you're going to have to put a ring on it. I was like, really? You're going to take a quote out of Beyonce's lyrics book? Like, first of all, like, I can think of 2 reasons. I'm not sure if I should talk about. I'm going to keep these comments to myself, but I would say, yeah, even if he was into guys, like, I don't think you'll be the last guy he'll be looking for. But anyways, no offense, Max Caster. I'm a fan of your trios gimmick, like of you being a freestyle rapper and the scissor me catchphrase. It's very funny and entertaining, but I'm not sure about the storyline though. But anyway, this is where he's like, and then this is where MJF walks out and is like, whatever, like, I'm gonna have time for this. This is where Anthony Bones was pissed off at Max. He's like, damn it, Max, like less is more. And this one, Max has oh, I forgot about that. What is silly? And this is where him and Billy Gunn also said, don't worry about him. He's a scumbag. And then this is where Max Cat's like, yeah, but he's my scumbag. Looking like some kind of a fangirl or some sort that has a crush on a celebrity crush even. This is where it started looking at weird. I was like, and this is where even Renee Paquette's like, oh, Lord have mercy. Like, did you really have to say that? Like regardless. Anyways, this. But what do you think about that? Like the storyline with Max Caster keep harassing MJF and trying to be his, I guess, his lover couple or his lover partner or whatever. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next segment. We're gonna talk about.
Dragging everybody's shoes from the damn door all the way here to the living room, telling them what the damn thing's up right now. He over here.
This is where we got Serrata, I believe, Emmy Serrata taking on Hikaru Shida. This is where he had him at one. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Emmy Serrata hit her with this body slam. She tossed Hikaru Shida right on the outside, disrespecting her sword kendo stick. This is where and my apologies. Up next, we had a match. This is the contenders match with Hikaru Shida taking on Emi Shiramai. I think that's what her name is. Shiramai. This is where what else we got? This is where let's see. This is where Emi Sakura, that's what her name is. That's where Hikaru finally got back on her feet, counter her with a striking kick, I believe. This is where she started grabbing on her, stretching her right between the middle ropes and the top rope into the left corner. This is where she started. And this is where Aubrey Edwards started her 5-second DQ warning count, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is where Sakura hit the knife edge chop right onto Hikaru Shida. This is where she did a crossbody right onto her, right, running on the ropes on the right side, and went to the other side though for the crossbody through the ropes in the middle of the ropes. This is where she went right up on the stage. This is where she started to go for a running tough splash right through the ring apron. This is where she moves out of the way. I mean, not move out of the way. This is where she intercepts and hit a hurricane right through to the exact same apron. This is where she Irish whips what's her name? Sakura right up in the ring. This is where she hits a missile dropkick off the top rope. This is where Hikaru Shida goes for her signature Falcon Arrow maneuver. This is where Sakura counters, twists her arm, hit her with a double underhook suplex. This is where Shida flips her over into a body slam, or not body slam, a body drop. But in the process, she got flipped over by Emi Sakura. This is where she rolled up in the most devastating move in all sports entertainment in a sunset flip way, but she only got a 2 count. This is where Hikaru Shida flips over, hit a pin of her own. Referee Aubrey Edwards count 1, 2. She kicks out of 2. This is where Emi Sakura pin Hikaru Shida into a roll up again. This is where Aubrey Edwards counts to 1, count to 2, kicks out. This is where Sakura hits her into a double underhook tiger driver. This is where she pins Hikaru Shida to earn herself an opportunity for the AEW Women's World Championship. But Northie count to 1, Aubrey Edwards count to 2, and then this is where she kicks out once again at 2.8 seconds. This is what when Emi Sakura was getting very upset. She was like, "Oh my God! Like what does it take to put her away to earn myself a competition?" And then this is where she said something in Japanese to the fans, mocking her in the process. The fans, and then that's what she said: "Bow to your cheer to your highness, cheer to your highness." That's what she said too. Like she's like, "Cheer for your highness," and this is where fans were booing her even more. Like, "Boo! Never, not this time. We won't." This is where she tried to go for a moonsault. He called Shida countered and it spins and hits the spinning katana kick right into her face. This is where she pins. This is where she pins Emi Sakura, but she kicks out a 1 even count. She kicks out at a 1 even count. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" Because Shida couldn't believe it. This is where she hits a devastating chop right onto Hikaru Shida. A chop Larry combination, I should say. This is where she rolled up into her legs right, tying her arms. And then this is where she tried to go for the rope that way, but she only got a 1, she only got a 2. And Shida kicks out, and this is where Emi Sakura tried to go for try to go for a crossbody, running crossbody. This is where what's her name hits her with a spinning backbreaker counter. This is what he called a Sheeta. This is where she runs right on the top rope, trying to go for a running hurricane, but she got counter. Trying. Emi Sakura tried to hit her version of the spinning backbreaker of her own. This is where he called a Sheeta managed to intercept out of her grasp and put the arm grab into an arm bar, like with an arm bent in the back. This is where Emi Sakura tried to close on her. She counters. She pulled her arm back and hits her with a striking right hand. This is where she picks her up right on the top and finally hits her with the Falcon Arrow. This is where she tried to go. This is why I tried to go for a pinfall, but the referee count to one, referee count to two. She kicks out at 2.9. She was like, "All right, like yeah, that move never gets a pinfall victory, just like the Blue Thunder Bomb and the Assassin Valley Driver. What I call it, Death Valley Driver. This is where he finally hits. This is where she finally hits the katana once again, which I'll say." She finally hit the Falcon Arrow. That she successfully did so. That was a guarantee. But she's double lucky of hitting the spinning katana for the 1, 2, 3. This time, second time she hits it, she got the 1, 2, 3, and she maintains as the reigning defending women's world champion, even being double lucky of winning into this contenders match for her women's title. This is where Renee Paquette did a sit-down interview with the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland. She's so excited to have her in what she doing. She started asking questions. What's going on between him and Christian Cage? This is where Adam Copeland was telling her about their journey into the start of professional wrestling. Like, he's been friends with him since the first grade, he said. Or not first grade, the sixth grade, I mean. The sixth grade for 41 plus years. Like, and he's like he rewind back of when the time when they were in middle school, when they very first met each other, like in their hometown in Canada. This is where they said and what got them together and made them best friends, damn near brothers, is when they had the both passion for professional wrestling. And then this is where he said over the years, we even got we were entering and we joined the wrestling school eventually, and then we got some offers from viewers from pro wrestling companies and doing a contest on whoever wins gets a automatic contract for the promotion. And then this is where he also says, no, we both make, and then not the what's called in this contest, this essay contest. That's what it was. Yeah. That's where they were doing an essay contest about whoever wins gets, and then it was him, and it happened to be Adam Copeland. And then this is what, and he's like fast forward, and then fast forward a year later, he also said he was giving Christian Cage the confidence of becoming a professional wrestler. And then he just started his training immediately. And then he's like, fast forward, he gets the dream gig in wrestling. And then first 6 months, and he said over half a year, he's been improving too. Like, he's been showing he got the skills, he got the strength, he got the dedication, he got everything. And then he's like, and you don't do that a lot. And then Renee Paquette was like, yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, you don't do that a lot. And Edge was like, I believe in him. I truly believe that he's the most underrated superstar in this history. And then which is a reference to the fact that he was very underrated in his run in WWE. But he's gotten better and better when he joined AEW, even making a TNT championship, like if it's the world championship itself. And he's also doing a really good job, like having the fans hating him just as much as Dominic Mysterio and Don Callis does with their relationship with the wrestling fans. This is where Adam Copeland's like, whatever the reason was, over the week, it's always been like it was either Adam and J or E and C, which is a reference initials with Edge and Christian in their time in WWE as a multi-time, half a dozen tag team champions. And Adam Copeland also says, like And on my design, I never wanted that, but it stuck with him. He's like, and that's a cancer that he's infesting and it's clouding his decisions. And he said that I had a rocket strapped to my back, and that's true in many ways. Like, which I would agree. Like, he was in his time in WWE, he was mostly the main event guy, while he was the secondary main event and mid card guy of Christian. Which that's a shame from WWE side of things. Like, even though they gave him a couple of reigns as world championship, like back in 2011, but they should have did more with the guy, like they did with Adam Copeland. Like, but none of that matters now. Like, they're killing it and they're doing a successful job in AEW. I mean, despite what WWE gave him poor opportunities, like he successfully executed them. Christian, like in his time in WWE, is along with the then Edge, Adam Copeland, was definitely had the rocket strapped onto his back and was thriving with nothing but success as an ultimate Grand Slam champion and the ultimate opportunist. But I don't say that much of an opportunist, more like a ultimate superstar. But anyway, this is where Adam Copeland's like, and like I if you realize that you put when the words I put in this, like it's something that he's like part of me still thinking like he would probably still be working at an IT job in Ontario, Canada, and he's like, and then again I was taking opportunities and taking chances and open doors for both me and Christian, and then he said. Like, and I hate to think of that way, but on the second one, like I can't tell any other conclusion. Why is he acting the way he's acting? Like biting the hand that fed him when he needed him the most, which that's true. Like he's really biting him right into the hand, like because he couldn't have not gave you this offer in the first place. Well, at least in storyline perspective, but I bet him behind closed doors in real life, Christian Cage gladly appreciates him of helping them get opportunities in the world of professional wrestling. And what do you think about this backstage interview about the confession from the Rated R Superstar? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This was made because you just rattle off in those different instances. Like there you guys are so many years later, and y'all been in the years for 40 plus years, and then how the careers y'all have the careers y'all had, the fame, the fortunes, and every single thing that the common thread is still this jealousy, is competition. And are you surprised that there continues to buzzle in the surface for Christian Cage? Like, yeah, and we shouldn't have a problem because I'm the godfather with his daughter, and he's the godfather with my two daughters, Lyric and Ruby. And then this is where Adam Copeland was like, why is at this stage we're still doing this? Why we're playing this jealousy game from over 20 years ago? Like, and who was the better guy in this industry? And here's right now is what happened, and where he's Brian Hyde now. I get it. He's been in this company first, and I get it. I don't want to take his place. I want to take his precious TNT title. I don't want to do none of those things. I know he's gonna come crashing to the ground though. And then this is where what's her name? Renee Paquette was asking questions like, so you don't want that spotlight, you don't want the TNT championship. Like, what is it that you want out of this point in your career with your best buddy? I'm not gonna fight him. I'm never gonna fight him. Like, I don't want this TNT championship. As I respond to like this, and he's like, I don't want anything from him. And he's like, and even though, and I don't want to hurt his feelings, but he's not the best dancer either. And then eventually, and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus are gonna leave him high and dry. And then when he hits the ground, like, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna pick him up sooner or later. I was like, I agree on that statement, what Adam Copeland said, because it's only a matter of time that both Wayne and Source won't need the captain of charisma anymore, and just drop him and drop him drop him and throw him into the trash rubbish like if he was a month-old expired milk. an expired gallon of milk, I should say. But anyway, what do y'all think? Do you think we're gonna possibly gonna see a future face turn from the Captain of Charisma when Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus finally turn on him, or do you think? And then he's gonna also team with his longtime best buddy Adam Copeland, or do you think he's gonna stay as a heel for many years to come? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next match, which was Wardlow. And he was taking on the former show-off's best, his brother, I believe his little brother, which that was Ryan Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth with a TH, not a C. Yeah, Ryan Nemeth. But anyway, this is where he got in the ring. He just slammed him with a power bomb. I was like, dang, that was less than 1 second. Like, and this is where Tony Schiavone asked him, like, since he's been here winning these squash matches, like 3 weeks, I was like, dang, this is shorter than both the Griff Garrison and the Matt Sydal match from the last 2 weeks. And this is the third week in a row and shortest week that he just hit a single power bomb right onto to what's his name, to Ryan Nemeth. This is where Tony Schiavone was like, we're wondering what do you have in mind? Like, why do you came back here, like, with your long-awaited return? Like, and this is where he pointed out his wrist tape, like what every YouTuber pointed out, which like from the past couple of weeks, ever since he made his in-ring return, he has wrist tape that says MJF written all over the top fronter part of his wrist tape. And that's what shows that he's up. And then Tony Schiavone finally pointed out, like, oh, it says MJF. Like, yeah, you used to team with him. Like, he's used to been his bodyguard. And this is where he pushed Tony Schiavone, nearly knocking him down, if not already. Like, but he landed on his knee. Like, and then everybody started booing at him, like, boo, which that was the most rudest thing I have ever seen in professional wrestling. Even though the wrestlers do rude things, but they're trained professionals. They do it in the squared circle. They don't just do it where they don't take their anger out or lay their hands on a professional journalist. But anyway, this is where he pushed him to the side. This is where he walks out of there. And then Tony Schiavone's like, bro, that was very unusual. This is where we got a backstage interview. But what do you think? Do you think Wardlow's going to be his next opponent for the AEW World Championship, or do you think that Adam Cole is, or anybody else in that matter? Y'all let me know in the comments below. This is where we move on to the backstage interview with Renee Paquette, interviewing the God of Pro Wrestling, Kenny Omega. She was like, how are you feeling about this match, being your first ever match against Kyle Fletcher in this recent singles run here in AEW? And then this is where Kenny Omega's like, this is a really tough, hesitantly thing in my career. And my win-loss record is very vomiting, or what he said, putrid, I should say, not vomiting. Putrid. And he's like, I did number thing in this industry, exactly who, and that reminds me exactly who I mean. I am the best in AEW right now, and there's something to someone you're gonna prove that you're improved in the conversation, and then pump to the leaf in this company. You're just gonna have to take out Kenny Omega. So Kyle Fletcher, like this week's gonna be you, and then next week it's gonna be the Don Callis family, and after that, he's like, well, we're going to see the Kenny Omega of old targeting the AEW Heavyweight Championship after Maxwell's match against Jay. And he's like, speaking of the devil, like what we have here, and it's the devil himself, MJF. And this is where MJF's like, oh, really? Like, we was looking at him saying, like, you think you're going to take my championship? Like Kenny Omega, like world champion. Like, come here to let you know that I'm always admired you and always been a massive fan in Kenny Omega. And this is where Kenny Omega was like, appreciate that. But I have one thing to tell you. You have to come here so I can whisper it. But I was like, yeah, I know like very few people that are a huge fan of Kenny Omega as well. And I'll say a couple of them and half of them are my wrestling YouTube homies. And then the other half are just other people that I just know. Like, yeah, y'all going to have to figure that out in the future, exactly what I mean by that. This is where he whispers to Maxwell. Jacob Freeman said, whisper in his ear, saying, he's I just want to say love to shake her hand. And this is where Kenny Omega was like, okay. And he's like, absolutely, like, appreciate that. He's like, 30 days, bitch. He whispered that right into his ear. And it's like, really? Like, what the hell? Like, what he's referring to by 30 days? Like, or not 30 days, 13 days. That's what I said. He's like, 13 days, bitch, right to Kenny Omega's ear. I was like, 13 days? Like, what's that supposed to mean? Like 13 days, that's like Halloween. Like, what they have in Halloween? And this reminds me, which I want to talk about something, but I can't talk about it because I just want that day is very special, but we're going to have to see what I mean about Halloween, but we're going to see, probably going to see what's going to exactly happen in 13 days at the end of October. But I thought he said 30, but he said 13. But what y'all think? What MJF was referring to? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, and we're gonna move on. And this is where we went, and this is where we've seen another vignette with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong in the Kingdom, with Adam Cole doing favors with Roderick Strong, like putting the help doing them favors, like putting peanut butter on his bread for a peanut butter sandwich, and what else happened? And what else? Do some. I'll say, yeah, but he was apologizing, like, sorry, like, for me being injured, like, I would never do these unfair favors, like, if I was well recovered, but I still have some injury, making that fake excuse, I suppose, like, just to have Adam around rather than being hanging around Maxwell, and Adam Cole was. With putting peanut butter on his bread, and he's like, Adam, like, you know, I hate crust. Like, no, make me another one that's without the crust. I was like, really? Like, you sound exactly like me and my siblings, and even my nephew, because and I was like, and what had my attention is his hospital gown, or I was like, why is he still wearing that, even though he's in his house and he left the hospital weeks ago? Like, what is Roddy doing? Like, no disrespect or no offense, like, but why are you having that on? Like, it's very unnecessary. Like even for you having that neck brace around your neck, like, you could take off the hospital gown or the hospital shirt or whatever it is, like, whatever you call it. I think it's a hospital gown. Like, even though you're injured, like, and this is where Roderick Strong was like. And then this is where Matt Taven was like, yeah, you know. But anyway, this is where Matt Taven was like, you know that your friend here did not like crust. I was like, you instigator, like, stay out of this. And this is where Adam Cole was very fed up of these favors from Roderick Strong. This is where Adam Cole was like, that's it, that's enough. Like, I get it now. And like I've been doing this for. I possibly came out to help you for the past couple of weeks, and I was supposed to have, and damn it, I need my surgery, and then this where. Now I'm done with this right now. I'm done. Like, I don't care what Fathom you need. Like, I'm through with this. Like go have like Matt or Mike do your what's it called? Matt or Mike, and not the Seidel brothers, the Kingdom. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett do your chores and your slaving favors for you. And this is where Roderick Strong. I mean, this is where Adam got out there with his walking scooter. This is where Roderick Strong did his signature. Did a signature Adam chants, or Adam calls, not chants, calls. This is when we start doing a signature Adam call, like, Adam, come back here, Adam. You don't love me no more. Like that doesn't mean you're just using him for favors. That's quite unnecessary right now. Like, even some like daily chores and even making yourself something to eat, like. This is his excuses just to have Adam around and not get surgery and get better so he can team with MJF again as Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But what do you think about this storyline genuinely? Like, of Roderick Strong purposely doing this and possibly faking his neck injury, like with me and MJF's not buying. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next. This is where we get a in-ring promo, a pre-match before the match. This is where Don Callis was like my people, my people here, in the city. I forget what city they were in. They just said it, but this is where he started rubbing it in and talking rubbish to the crowd. This is where the fans started booing, just like if he was Dominic Mysterio. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs came in. He said the reason why I powerbomb and respond him repeatedly because of back 25 years ago when he couldn't even take a picture with me when I was 7 years old, when my big mama got me front row seats right over there, particularly right here, like at a wrestling show, which he probably was referencing back in the Attitude Era in WWE, like when Jericho was when Jericho was the breakout star in WWE, like with the likes of The Rock and Stone Cold. But anyway, this is where and I was a 7-year-old child. Like, I swore, Chris, on that day, I vow that the day I get to look at you in the dead of your eye when I get into this business, and I'm gonna hurt you and beat the living life out of you over and over and over again. Like, we're gonna take your frustration out from what he did to you when he was playing a persona from back in 98, which was 25 years ago. And I was like, man, why you're a year older than someone that I know? But anyway, you viewers are gonna know about that. Y'all gonna know who I'm referring to very soon. But that's a story for another day. But we're going to continue talking about Powerhouse Hobbs. This is where he starts saying over and over again, like, I'm going to do that. And I look at you, Chris. You were lifeless in this very canvas. So what I do, I pick your ass up and I spine buster you once again, Jericho. And I spine buster you. That's like repeatedly saying after spine buster. And then I think he said it so loud because the audio would start messing up in one hand when he said after spine buster. I think the audio was starting to crack and starting to malfunction of saying it so loud to that point. This is what he's going to say, like, I love every single of it. This is what Don Callis is like and he's like, Will Hobbs has been told supposedly loved him to bottle up the hate, bottle up the anger, and bottle up the violence. And he's like, now Will has a new family. And when you got the new family, like the Don Callis family, we'll tell you to bottle it up. We tell you to be what you are and what Will Hobbs is going to be. And that is a 6'3", 275-pounder killing machine. And we are not done with Jericho. We're not done with any of it. And we're going with Will Hobbs and All Elite Wrestling, and with Don Callis' family is on a roll right now. That Shivani, we are undefeated for 4 months, ever since the Don Callis, except for one match where Sammy Guevara was hurt by Jericho at AEW's Wrestle Dreams. And then the fans start chanting some very non-PG language by telling them to shut the blank up. And then he that's what definitely cut him off and shut him up for sure, because the fans do not want to hear him. He's damn near worse than Dominic Mysterio. This is where they start doing that for a little while, for like 10 seconds straight, until he went back on the microphone saying, and I have the replacement. I had to get a scab worker to come in. And that man's name is Kyle Fletcher. But as much of the greatest athlete that he is in professional wrestling, he let me and the Don Callis family down. Let us down when he got pinned by Kenny Omega, the same guy he's gonna face tonight. And that's when Kyle Fletcher came out there. And this is where he was like, "Oh, really? Like it's really my fault? Like, yeah, like you were the one that begged Will Ospreay to have me fill in for Sammy Guevara, and now like for one mess up, you're gonna really blame me for the reason why y'all lost? Like that's a complete nonsense. Like, which he was getting ready to fight Don Callis at that point, but this is where Kenny Omega came out there, get ready for his match. Like, and that's when the Don Callis family walked out because they don't want anything to do with both Kenny and Kyle. This is where we have the match. And what you thought about that segment, genuinely? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where we're gonna talk about the match. This is where Kenny Omega hit a suplex right into Kyle Fletcher. This is where he hits a top rope crossbody, like a springboard top rope crossbody, right onto Kyle Fletcher, which was the most comeback move in all sports entertainment. It was more like the most offensive move in all of sports entertainment because he was getting the offense when he did the maneuver. This is where they got back in the ring. This is where Kenny Omega tried to go for a springboard maneuver when he saw him getting back up. This is where, let's see right here. I think he got drop kicked by Kyle Fletcher right off. He got intercepted, picked off even. This is where they took us on the outside. This is where he clotheslines Kenny Omega right through the barricade into the audience, which is the former barricade, of course. This is where he tried to get him over the barricade back in the ringside area to get him back in the ring. This is where he put him right. They got him back in the ring. This is where he put him in the top left corner. But I think he got kicked in a counter, which he rolled out into the ring. This is where Kenny Omega tried to go for a run, but he got tripped over. Tried to run right to the ropes and then run right to the top rope and try to run back and try to go for his signature rolling senton splash, but he got tripped over before he had a chance to do any of it. This is where this is where Kyle Fletcher drags him out of the ring. Hits the most loudest chops and possibly the brutalest chops of this night. And I was like, Kyle Fletcher, like, are you insane? Like, you're going to get yourself killed by Gunther with his deadliest chop in the wrestling game. And man, it seemed like that Kyle Fletcher didn't care because he started continuously doing that. That's what Kenny Omega did it in the defense. And I was like, I hope Gunther is giving Kenny Omega a pass for the fact that he got insulted with the chops first. But anyways, this is where Kenny Omega puts him right on the chair. This is where we start hitting chops. This is what doing it more offensively now. I was like, Kenny, like don't get yourself caught up with the chops, or else like Gunther's gonna come after you, even though he's on WWE, and he's gonna hit you with the deadliest chops of envious. This is where Kenny Omega stopped. I was like, thank goodness. This is where he went up right, putting his hand up, like walking on the other side, getting ready to do the V trigger with him right through Kyle Fletcher on that chair. This is where he tried to do so. He moved right in on time and tripped him over with a drop kick to his knee and crashed and burned face first and shoulder first right into the steel chair that was sitting for him. This is where they got back in the ring. This is where what else they were doing? This is where we try to go for a gut wrench suplex. This is where we have Kenny Omega hitting elbow strikes right onto and axe handle strikes onto Kyle Fletcher's back of the counters of a gut wrench maneuver. This is where Kenny Omega finally got back up. This is where Kenny tried to go for. This is where he tried to run right to Kyle Fletcher, but he got into a power slam position. This is where Kenny Omega tried to roll out of it. This is where he goes for a snake eyes, which he hits a nailing and brutally snake eyes right into the middle ropes, face first into the middle turnbuckle pad into the bottom left corner of Team of the turnbuckle. This is where I bet it hurt so much, like to the point that it could have broken Kenny Omega's nose when he hit so hard. This is where he got him up into a fireman's driver, slamming him in back first right into the canvas. This is where he pins the God of Pro Wrestling. But the referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2, but the shoulders got up of Omega at 2.8 seconds. And then this is where let's see. Dang it. Let's see what else happened in the match. My bad. And then, by the way, this was the second match of the night, on my opinion. And I'll say the number one match would go to. I'll say the Jay White versus. I'll say Jay White against Penta El Zero Miedo. It was like a main event match. We would have main evented the show if there wasn't a Dynamite Diamond Dozen Battle Royal like in the main event. But anyways, let's talk about more about Kenny Omega. This is where he hits a missile drop kick right to the back. This is where he hits a sideway keypad brainbuster right onto the Kenny Omega's like, yeah, I'm back on my game. And this is where he started pointing right to the ropes. Oh, not ropes, right into Kyle Fletcher. My bad. His signature posing points. This is where he does like time to sweep up. That's what he did. He tried to go for the running rebound V trigger. This is where Kyle Fletcher dodges it. He pushes him right, and he hits face first right into the ropes. And this is where he goes for a half a Nelson suplex, which he did so. This is where Kyle Fletcher this is where Kenny Omega landed right onto the top left corner of Teen Under Turnbuckle. This is where Kyle Fletcher was the diagonal from him to the bottom right corner, getting ready to hit a striking Pele kick maneuver right onto the corner, which he did so. This is where he picks him up into a suplex position, which was a brainbuster, like hit him forward head first into a brainbuster maneuver. But when he tried to pin Kenny Omega, this was the referee count to 1, the referee count to 2. Omega kicks out at the last second of 2.9999 seconds. And then, Kyle Fletcher was doing an impressive job, like bringing Omega down, but it was not enough to put away the god of pro wrestling. This is where he tried to go for this pile driver maneuver, like the tombstone pile driver. This is where Kenny Omega hitting elbow strikes and axe handles, single axe handles. My apologies. I think I already said this. But this is where he hits a it's a powerbomb V trigger. This is where he hits and this is where he also hits a flying strike V trigger soon after hitting the one-winged angel, got the 1, 2, 3, and Kenny Omega finally maintained some of his momentum that he unfortunately lost. And this is where not Kyle Fletcher, Don Callis was like, not only screwed over Kyle, it screwed me in the process because he's gonna have a reason why he should antagonize us. I was like, antagonize, more like put y'all to justice, more like of y'all y'all basically attacking them for no actual apparent reasons, and not from 25 years ago. But what do you think about this feud? Like, do you think Kenny Omega should finally get his revenge anytime soon? Or do you think that the Don Callis family should continue their evil deeds and keep defeating the former AEW World Champion? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to here's where we got another vignette of Danhausen of his future return, with Danhausen singing his very nice song, sing-along, I should say, his very nice song, sing-along, saying, he's very, very nice. He's very, very nice. I'm Danhausen. How excited for you Danhausen fans are? Y'all let me know down in the comments below about that as well. And what do you think what he's going to be doing when he makes his long-awaited return for him being out of action for nearly a year? But anyway, this is where I was like, some tells me we're going to see this probably to keep seeing these vignette videos of these very, very nice vignette segments with Danhausen or Big Daddy Evil or Evil Daddy Evil. And then at the end of with the words of the caption that says, love that Danhausen. Like, love that Danhausen, which I mocked him saying that to my mom. And I even mocked pretending to be him saying, "You must be Super Ninja Austin's mother. Nice to meet you." Like I've been doing from the past year, ever since he's been on AEW television. And I'll say I kind of find him entertaining with his clown and pirate voice, like his pirate and leprechaun voice, even though he's supposed to be a vampire character that curses his opponents to lose their wrestling matches. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next segment, which was and they also show a ticking time clock that says he got days and weeks away from his return, which I don't know what the specific date is, but whenever it is, something tells me it's going to be next month after Full Gear in November. But this is where we get here's where we got a Lance Archer match, which he got an unsuccessful attack from behind from this jobber that was trying to look like Nick Jackson. I couldn't tell just by I couldn't see in his face until when he tried to do a suicide dive right into Lance Archer. This is where he grabs him by the neck. This is where he choke slammed him right on the hardest part of the ring, which is the right on and through the hardest part with the ring apron, probably snapping something into his upper back, part of his back, something upper part of his back, like his upper lumbar or his upper spine or whatever you want to call it. Like, yeah, like whatever it is, like, yeah, whatever it is or whatever you call it. Like, he probably hit somewhere into that side of his back. This is where Lance Archer got him back up, hits him with here's where he throw him right to the corner, hit him with an elbow strike right into the head. Here's where he hits another one repeatedly. Here's where he goes for another one. This is where he hits another elbow strike. This is where he picks him up, put him on the top rope. This is where here's what we try to do is finishing moves, but instead, this is where this glorified jobber hits him with a right hand and a upper right strike. This is where Lance Archer went right onto the mid ropes, hits a striking knee strike with an amazing agility. Hit him with the Murder Hawk. What's that called? The driving bag, I should say. And then this is where he got the 1, 2, 3. And then it looks like we see this return is getting somewhat good for Lance Archer, but they're probably going to continue having him squashing glorified jobbers or the legitimate enhancement talent kind of jobbers into the foreseeable future, something similar to Wardlow. But you're going to continue doing this, planting those seeds in the long run. But what y'all think about Lance Archer's return and what's next for the Murder Hawk monster? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where we have a music video of the remix of Big Pressure. Big Pressure into Swerve Strickland's theme song, with Swerve Strickland being in the mix of it, along with his voodoo Prince Nana. This is where here's where they start saying, like, they had a video promo with them. And this is where Prince Nana was like, "I'm pretty excited about our music video. We're gonna be very famous on YouTube." Oh! I was like I'm starting to be somewhat locally famous on YouTube, and hopefully this local success gets to nationwide success into the world of video this video watching social platform. And then for you viewers, just make sure you tell your friends and comment below and subscribe and click the bell notification and make this channel go bigger to make that dream to come to reality. But anyways, this is where Swerve Strickland's like, I would be extra excited about this music video and I'll have the opportunity for the TNT Championship and possibly would have won if it hadn't been for Hangman Adam Page interfering in my match last week at Title Tuesday when I was facing Bryan Danielson. And then he's like, and that's one reason why I'm not TNT champion is because of you, Hangman Page. And I just cannot get that out of my head. Like, the thing about it was not about who was going to get the opportunity between you and me, Hangman. It was about Swerve versus the spot in the top of the game. in the title game. And this is where Prince Nano said facts. And then this is where Strickland also said, like, hey, man, this is personal. You couldn't be well enough alone after I beat you at Wrestle Dream, huh? Like, you do not want to go to war with someone that doesn't give less of a damn than you. I mean, that can give less of a damn than you, Hangman. And he's like, man, you cannot be nothing like me, Hangman. Like, just remember this right here. It's not always you that paid for your actions. And that's when the vignette was over, or not vignette, I should say the promo the promo video was over, and then that's where we move on to the Sting having an announcement and to address to the fans. And then this is where he started naming names. Like, there's some names that pass. Like, I travel with these guys all the time for the past 30 years, and then we look at a generation right ahead of us. The guy that shaped my career, like the likes of Dusty Rhodes, the legendary legend, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and he's the most charismatic human being that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Unreal, Dusty. I love you. Rest in peace. And he's like, Hulk Hogan. So there was a mixed reaction. Some cheered, some booed when he said the name itself. The one that hates the N-words. But anyways, this is where he's like, okay, I get it. Y'all don't want to hear much about it. But Hulk Hogan transcended wrestling and for the better. And I did learn one thing from him. You got not to give him something on that in the industry side of things. This is what he's like. But the guy that I'm going to give a lot to is the Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair. And everybody was wooing away like, woo, yeah. And they were like, and he was like, thank you, Ric Flair, for all the moments. And I had at Clash of the Championship of 1998, our first ever match. Like, that's it, right? What year was it again? He's like, now I want to give a lot to Ric Flair for helping me become the star in this industry. And he's like, thank you for all the moments we had. Remember the Clash of the Championship, 1988, the very first world title match that I had with you, Rick, and you put me on the map in the market of pro wrestling. And then you're a moment of that. And then he's like, and then he said at a Great American Bash in yeah, what a moment that was, Rick, and I will forever remember that. And he's at 1990 Great American Bash, 1990 Great American Bash. At World Time at this time, I came out the victor, Rick. And thank you once again for putting on a match like that. And this is where Sting was trying to put himself together before he started crying before his announcement. And the fans started thanking Sting, like, thank you, Sting. Thank you, Sting. I was like, yeah, like he deserved every single moment of this, of him having an incredible and Hall of Fame worthy and already a Hall of Famer legendary career in AEW. And it is where and the fans started saying that like 20 times straight. This is where Sting was like, no, thank you guys for making this possible. Like, yeah, like I appreciate you guys like being a supporter of mine from for 30 plus years. And then I want to give back to the community. And he's like, and that's why I gave back to the community because you guys appreciate what I did. Like, and that's why I stuck around into the wrestling community. This is where he said, and as an in-ring competitor side of things, of course, this is where Sting also says, a decade, well, one day more to have the proof. And he's like, I got to tell you, here I am for all these years later. And then he's like, and I understand like why they hung on, and it's the smell of the arenas. It's the camaraderie in the road with the guys, traveling all over the globe. And it is the roar of you guys, you fans right here that paid in attendance, and you people at home watching. And he did the woo crowd to the crowd, the crow sound. The reason why I come back to more like, but and like, and then what like, and then what he said, He did. That's what makes us keep coming back for more. And this is about run. Do you think he did the same thing what happened 20 years ago? Like, no. Like, should I be jumping off the balconies? And like, you know what? I'm not gonna talk about that just yet. I'm gonna talk about that later. We'll get there later. Like, I'll get there later. And everybody was like, yeah, like he's doing amazing stuff off of balconies, buildings, and even the top rope. Like, and even sometimes in the outside, right through tables. Even though it could be a little botch, like of him not successfully executing according to plan, doing the elbow drops, or splash. Doing it sideways, perhaps, but he's still doing it at the age of 64. Like, how is he still in this game at that age? Like it seems like he never will retire until this announcement. And he's like getting back to that and backward earlier. That word, the retirement word. I was like, oh boy, don't tell me. That won't be anytime soon. Please don't be anytime soon. You're doing amazing in AEW right now, especially teaming with Darby Allin. This is where Sting was like, yeah, I want to talk about that one. And this is when the fans started repeatedly saying, you still got it. Clap, clap, clap. No, you still got it. I was like, yeah, he sure for the past. And he's like, thank you. Like, but I want announcement. And you already know that I already retired in 2015, yeah, which was a reference to when he was retired the first time, but it wasn't really a successful run, which was in WWE. Like, he only wrestled the likes of like Triple H and Seth Rollins and the Big Show at that time, and it was somebody else too, but only those three guys that he'd been in the ring with, and he didn't really have the dream run in WWE like he wanted to, and that is like being in dream matches with the likes of Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker and so many more wrestlers into the industry, like even the new guys too, like at the time. But now he's showing that by wrestling in another promotion, and that being All Elite Wrestling. Because imagine what could have happened if there wasn't AEW. He would have been lucky if Impact Wrestling signed him back and have his final run there. But this is where he announces, retirement. He was like, and he was talking about his first retirement didn't sit right with him. And then besides, afterwards, one very key moment in my so-called retirement speech I made at the time, for sure, like the thing is, nothing's for sure about the icon from Every Man's Nightmare. And they said, which brings me now to the word retirement. And everybody started booing. He's like, yeah, I know, again. I know. I want to address it right here, live and Color and Dynamite, and then in the great city of Houston. That's what it was, Houston, Texas. I was like, I should have known, like I did in the beginning. Yeah, they were live in Houston, Texas. But anyways, this is where and the fans are cheering like, yay, like please don't retire, like we love you here. And please, like, he's like, yeah, right here in Rosenberg, Texas. What a surprise tonight. And he's like, no, this is my moment. This is you guys' moment. I want to share it with you guys. So here goes. Like, I started my very first match with AEW was Revolution 2021. And my very last match will be at Revolution 2024. I was like, wow, like he's going to retire at 2024. Like, and I think that's when MJF is going to make his exit, or already going to make his exit like 2 months prior, because his contract expires in January of 2024. And then we may see him leave. We could see him go, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, the point is, Sting, like he said, he's going to retire in 2024. And how y'all feel like that? Do you think it's the right time for him to retire at the same pay-per-view that he debuted 3 years prior? Or do you think he should still go for another year? In like at least 2025? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to I was like, he's really gonna retire. That's wow, that's less than 6 months from now. That's 5 months from now. Like, because considering it's October, and then March will probably be here before we even know it. And then this is where we got the portraits of Toni Storm. This is where her assistant her personal assistant interviewer tried to present her as it was something. It was like, and he was trying to present her, and this is where the Taking World by Storm, and he's like, she debuts her second blockbuster title, God with the Storm, like originally based on, like, before he could say anything, like, no, well, let me say that line, like, this is where he the screenplay, but don't say another word, like, I got this, and this is where she started doing that. Is that, and it's a Gone with the Storm. This is when they start doing this little short segment of the second segment, like with. In the week in a row on Dynamite, which was like a silent movie. With on one moment there, he was like, he said something about I forget what the assistant, her assistant interview producer man said. He said something that kind of made Toni Storm disgust, and he's like, "How dare you!" And she slapped him right into the face. Well, they said it in the subtitle, but you couldn't hear it come out of their voice. But he said, and this was, and she was like, "It's wonderful being alive." And then he was like, and he also said, like, "I mean, this is what I meant." And she's like, "Oh, sorry about that," which earned a automatic goofiest wrestling of the night for this segment alone, because this was very plain out, hilariously stupid. But yeah. Well, what you guys thought about this Toni Storm segment? This segment that was kind of like a silent movie in the 1940s. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where we got a backstage. This is where we get the backstage sit-down interview with JR, with Nick Wayne and his mom, and then Nick Wayne finally revealed his reasons why he betray what's his name, betray Darby Allin and join Christian Cage along with Luchasaurus, and he said some horrible things. This is what his mother said, like, what made you think about that? Like, and I was completely shocked what he did. At the time that I had to tell, like, since that happened, I still cannot believe, and I still cannot make sense out of this. Like, Darby has been like a brother to you for over a decade, for the past decade, since the beginning, or almost a decade, I should say. This has been totally out of character, even for you, Nick. And Tristan, out of all people, the thing he said about you, your father, he said about me and to me, like, Nick, like, I don't recognize you in this way. Like, Nick, like, I don't know who this is in you. Son, you got to understand, like, this is not you. This is not the way you should be. And then this was like, please, Nick, come back to me. Like, please come back and get back to your senses. And then this is where she smacks her hand away. And this is where he's like, shut up, Mom. Like, I was like, dang, like, you're starting to be the AEW's Dominic Mysterio. Like you rebellious children, like wrestling children, I should say, are way too disrespectful than even to a typical heel. More disrespectful than a typical heel right now, because like that's not how you treat your mom and your father. And even if his father was still alive, that's not how you should treat his father either. Because like it says on the good book, like, you honor thy father and mother, your days belong in the earth. But that's a story for another day. But Nick Wayne started being very disrespectful, going rebellious mode, because he said, "Shut up, Mom. I had enough for you." And then the reason, like. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I betrayed Darby Allin and went to Christian Cage. And this is where JR started pushing back, like saying, "Yo, that's your mother there. Like, you don't treat him." His mother, calm down. And he's like, you don't understand, Mom, and you don't understand JR. Like, JR don't understand. And he's the most understandable guy in professional wrestling. You don't say he don't understand. Like, you're worse. And that makes you more worse than Dominic Mysterio has ever been as a rebellious gimmick superstar in WWE. Like, dang, like. And this was this is something Darby Allin that makes sense. And it's not about him. Like, I was in the shadow that I couldn't. Like, what I did for making it here. Like, yeah, that's true. True. Like, you look like you were in the shadows of dark, but that doesn't mean you are. Like, you were just getting started. Like that's the point in professional. Like, you're supposed to be presented by a mentoring veteran or legendary wrestler that's gonna show you the way in the professional wrestling, so you can fly on your own wings. And this is where Nick Wayne also states his sad excuse of a reason. He's like, it is like he hated it, and I take the given here, but I need to prove myself that I belong here on my own, and why I'm here, and so the reason why I'm here. And this is where his mom's like, and this is not it. She's like, this isn't it that you're doing it though. And then this is where Nick Wayne was like, oh, it is it, all right, like, and you're gonna see what exactly what I mean, and you're gonna figure out now. Christian Cage, a better father figure than my father ever was. I was like, wow, that was very shockingly way out of line, even for Nick Wayne, like at this heel gimmick, like that's worse than Christian Cage. And it's also even worse when Christian Cage even started making fun of him how dead he is, like he did with Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Wardlow. So yeah, like, well, he didn't do much with Wardlow. He's like, no one didn't care who Wardlow's father was, and I'm not gonna waste my breath on him. But anyways, this is where he walks out with Christian Cage. But this is where Darby Allin came up, flies onto him, start beating. And then, oh yeah, before he said something about that, like say anything to his mom that's possibly just even more disrespectful than it was already getting towards. This is where she slapped the absolute taste out of his mouth, and probably the absolute and possibly slapped the allergies, if he ever has some, out of his nostrils, of course. Like, and this is where his mom's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to knock some sense out of you." And I was like, Nick Wayne's mom, like, don't apologize. You're showing discipline to your own your own son. To your own son. Like, he was going way out of line and turning from his mom and his best friend that he's been like a brother for the past few years. Like, when both men were getting they started in the industry. And then this is where he's like, "You're dead to me, just like my father, Mom." And then she was like, "No, Nick, like, please." Like, she was sadly begging him back. And then this is where Christian Cage jokingly said, "You should have picked up the phone." And I was like, really? Like, and I was like, "And aren't you married? And then you showed your daughter on television before, and you specifically told her she cannot touch your TNT title." Like, man, what kind of father and a husband are you, Christian Cage? And then this is where they slammed the door right into his mom's face. This is where they were getting both of their ass beat, but with both Nick Wayne and Christian Cage was getting their ass beat, both to Darby Allin. He threw Nick Wayne right to the barricade, which I think that was making him bleed between his nose and mouth. Probably mostly his mouth was bleeding when he got hit face first. This is when they took it on the outside. Darby Allin was teaching this little sucker a lesson, started beating the absolute shib out of Nick Wayne, like, because he deserved it, of course, because he was disrespecting not only him but his own mother on live national television. This is where he started kicking and stomping on him. And this is where Christian Cage came from behind, and Luchasaurus, he tossed him right onto the stage ramp, and then into the entrance into the ring. This is where both him and Christian Cage started going out there, start trying to outnumber him. They start tossing him. This is where Sting came out, kicked him right in the midsection, started punching him. I believe he hit Christian Cage with his baseball bat right into the leg, I believe. This is where Christian Cage threw him right to barricade. It didn't hurt that much, but it did some damages onto the midsection. Nick Wayne was grabbed to his midsection because I think Nick Wayne got bloodied up in the mouth so much to the point, like, he got hit so much to the point that I think he was missing a tooth because his mouth was in a bloody state. This is where Christian Cage brought down Christian Cage. This is where he tried to go for the Scorpion Death Drop not Death Drop, the Scorpion Death Lock, which he's got it locked in, twisting it back, and he had his four part like right behind him, like when he was doing the lock. It looked like the Educator, more like the Adam Cater, I should call it now, that Adam Copeland used to do. And this is where Christian Cage started tapping. I have nowhere else to go. He started tapping like, no, please let go of Sting, sir. Please don't break my legs. Please don't crush them into pieces. Please don't. And then this is where Luchasaurus came in, grabbed his hands, pulled him out of the ring, and then this is where he finally got released from Sting with a Scorpion Death Lock. And this is where Sting was like, come back here, like I wasn't finished with him. And this is where Luchasaurus, his right hand of destruction, ran out of there like cowards, and then both Darby Allin and Sting sent all three of these men packing, and this is where he had a TNT championship. Like, you may have gotten us this time, but you still haven't touched my precious TNT title. Like, does that even matter? Like, they're not going to touch that title unless it's going to be around one of these men's waist, possibly Darby Allin, which I hope that'll be the case, and it'll probably be the first ever wrestler to be the 3rd or 4th time TNT champ. How many separate reigns he had with the title? I think it was 3. But I think he's going to be the first ever 4-time champion. And what do you think? And let me know in the comments what's the actual times he held the title in his reign as the championship in general in the comment section down below. And let me know who you think that's going to win that TNT title from Christian Cage in the comments below when that time comes, of course. But whenever that time comes, it's probably going to be not only going to lose that championship, he's going to lose his friends Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. And he's got no choice to reunite with his best friend Adam Copeland, whenever that be. But we're going to probably see that in the near future. But just keep on watching until the very end. Stay tuned to AEW, I should say. And we're going to probably get some answers that way, like in the next upcoming weeks and months. This is where but anyway, we're going to move on. And they start talking about the pound for pound crown championship title match, like with Mystico and Rocky Romero at Rampage this Friday. Make sure you check out Rampage and the SNA podcast Part 10 review, along with SmackDown's Part 10 review of that show. But this is where we came out of matches, including like John Silver, Kip Sabian, and Brother Zay in the number 1 contender match for the AEW International Championship. And then, speaking of which, this is where we got an interview with the International Champion and the TBS Champion, Chris Statlander, like with her TBS Championship. And then this is where, but before we get to the interview with Renee Paquette and the best friends with Hook and Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. They also advertised Miro against Action Andretti because Miro got pissed off and he basically killed and murked Andretti for hitting on CJ Perry, aka the former Lana. And then they also have Absolute Ricky Starks for the defender AEW Tag Team Championship against, I believe, Claudio Castagnoli and Willer Yuta. And then we also have Battle of the Belts with the Acclaim taking on what's his name? Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Make sure you check that out. I'm going to be doing a Part 10 review of AEW Collision. And we also have Renee Paquette interviewing Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy along with them having Hook and also Chris Statlander's title was going to be on the line with Willow Nightingale. This was like, that's correct. And she was like, I think I've proven time and time again that this TBS title is about great professional wrestling. And that is why I want to give a shot that I think not only deserves it, but someone that I cared about, someone that I respect. And that person is Willow Nightingale. And it is where Renee Paquette agreed. It's like, yeah, a very incredible opponent for you. What's her name? Chris Statler. And you, Orange Cassidy, the International Championship. That title's going to be on the line at Battle of the Belts against the winner of the three-way match at this week on AEW Rampage. How does it feel to be back to defending this gold again? Orange Cassidy's like, there's a thing that people say that's I can't think of it right now. And this is where Chuck Taylor's like, you don't have it, you don't appreciate it when it's gone. Like, yeah, that, like, he's like, you know, and I didn't fully understand that until I lost this piece of gold right here. And he's like, I knew that I cared about it, but not as much as I do now. I know how much I cherish this, and now that I have it, that I'm continue to do that I always wanted to do, and that is defend this championship. Yeah, because when I look at this, as unfinished business, and this Saturday at AEW Collision / Battle of the Belt, I got something for you guys. And then, yeah, I was like, dang, like, Renee Paquette's interviewing the two wrestlers that I wrestled and AEW Fight Forever. One of them being the one that never orange punched me, which when I become a professional wrestler, I'm going to try to do a storyline in AEW, tell Tony Khan and Orange Cassidy that I have an idea. Like, for the next months and maybe for a whole year, Orange Cassidy will keep continuing to miss the orange punch on me until on one big event, possibly for a championship, maybe for the AEW championship, he'll finally do the maneuver on me and then finally bring me down with the move and beat me with the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about my theory about that if I ever become a professional wrestler, especially in AEW, in the comment section down below. And the Chris Statlander, the first ever female I ever wrestled in a intergender match, which was on Fight Forever, of course. And then on Road to the Elite, like, she powerbombed me right through a table while I was giving the fans an autograph with my Super Ninja Austin character being all elite in AEW on the game, on the Road to Elite mode onto the game. But anyway, this is where on Road to the Elite on the game. This is where we had the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal right here. And every wrestler that was that usually wrestled for Rampage or Collision or normally on Dark Elevation, they were wrestling out there. And I'm saying who's gonna be eliminated. Get to the point. I'm not trying to bore you with the typical battle royal fight like yesterday with the what's that called, the Banga Battle Royal from the Tony D'Angelo requested to Cody Rhodes, which he gladly made official. And it may seem easy, but it don't seem that easy when you book it, though. Yeah, but anyways, it's a general manager. I mean, we've seen so many eliminations. Like, well, we're going to get right here. We got Jake Hager trying to clothesline, what's his name? I believe Commander. But Commander rolled under, spin around, did a drop kick right into the bottom right corner. But he tried to go for a monkey flip. Jake Hager tried to push Commander right on the outside. This is where he tried to go for a strike, but he got intercepted with a kick right into Hager's hand, which Commander did. Daniel Garcia's like, I'm not in it. Like, Daniel Garcia do it. This is where he gets missile drop kick right on the top rope in the right corner. This is where Daniel Garcia tried to go for a running attack move into the corner. This is where his drop kick on both Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia to try to get into the way. This is where, in one hand he tried to do that dance he does that's been insinuated that he got from Britney Spears, but he got the Arizona Cardinals doing it. Before they started the match, MJF came out there. He was in commentary for this Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. This was like, like, oh, you suck it, like including you, Juice Robinson. This is where what's the name went massive F fanboy, Max Caster went massive F fanboy because he started saying, I love that. He probably putting his tongue out. I was like, ew, like, even though it's not PG, but this is still inappropriate for you to do this on this show because that's not what it's there for. It's not, this is a violent, over extreme violent wrestling promotion, not a too uncomfortable, not a too much of uncomfortableness of sexual hand gestures and references. Like, so keep y'all's including you, Max Caster, keep y'all's sexual preferences to yourselves. But anyways, this is where we get back to the match. This is where Commander went right on the top rope, hits go for a double senton splash right onto both Daniel and Matt, but they picked him up. They flipped him over the top rope into a double back suplex, and he hits face first right into the hardest part of the ring apron. This is where Matt Menard started being more bossy to him more bossy to Daniel Garcia because he's been doing that his signature dance. Like, we started doing that dance. He's like, you better not do it. Like, you're doing pretty good so far, but you better not try to attempt to do that dance or else. And then this is where Dustin Rhodes got in. He turned around, kicked him in the midsection, hit him with an uppercut, a right hand uppercut. This is where Trent Beretta hits a strike on Daniel Garcia. He also hits a running, I believe, knee strike right onto Matt Menard. This is where Daniel Garcia tried to go for a clothesline, and he ducked, hit a snapping half Nelson superplex. This is where Dustin Rhodes hit the sunset flip Canadian destroyer right onto I believe was Matt Menard. This is where he was about to get ready to do. This is where he did the you just got to give the people what they want, hug gesture like they would normally do. Like, just like they hugged each other, and this is where they did the zoom out camera. This is where Excalibur said his signature catchphrase, saying, "You just got to give the people what they want." And soon after, Jake Hager clotheslined both from behind, I should say. This is where Irish whipped Trent Beretta out of there, but Trent Beretta was taking dear life. This is where Jake Hager Irish whips Dustin Rhodes right to the bottom right corner. This is where he tried to close on him out of there. This is where Dustin Rhodes flips Jake Hager right on the outside. This is where Trent Beretta came in and helped out Dustin Rhodes, hit him with a striking forearm off the apron, got him eliminated. This is where Matt Menard got pissed off and avenged his best friend. Then his alumni Jericho Appreciation Best Friend alumni, and hit him with a forearm right into Trent Beretta, trying to eliminate him in the process. This is where he tried to squeeze, try to bring him down. This is where what's his name started to counter his maneuvers, trying to squeeze him out of it. This is where Trent Beretta spears and rams his shoulder right into Matt Menard's midsection. This is where he tried to go for a suplex out of there, trying to eliminate what's his name, Matt Menard. But Matt Menard flipped right after he was landed right on the apron. This is where he started hitting a striking fist right onto Trent Beretta. This is where Trent Beretta went right back and hit him with a right strike. This is where he hits a right strike of his own. This is where Trent Beretta answered Menard back with a deadliest chop, which I'm changed my mind. That was the deadliest chop I ever heard in professional wrestling. I was like, you better be careful. Like, you're going to be added to the list one day, Trent. Like, because Gunther does not seem to be happy with either of these AEW wrestlers using it as a clutch and not being treated as respected. This is where Matt Menard hit the chop as well. This is where it's like he hit the elbow strike right into his. This is where he kicks him right into the midsection. This is where he tried to go for a power driver, power bomb. I'll say a power driver, but this is where Trent Beretta came back. This is where he counters, going for his finishing move, where he put he gets him in like an Alabama slam position, but he readjusts and put his arms over the legs and drops him something like a Lacey Evans signature move kind of jig that everybody knows about. This is where Daniel Garcia tried to come for the save. He got Matt Menard back in the ring. This is where he tried to eliminate with a strike out of the ring. Eliminate what's his name? Trent Beretta out of the ring, but he got countered. He hits him with a right hand. This is where Matt Menard came in and hits him with a striking forearm. Trent Beretta was bye-bye out of there. This is where Jeff Hardy hits a crossbody clothesline right through the left ropes. This is where Jeff Hardy started punching, kicking, try to go for a twist of fate to Daniel Garcia. This is where Daniel Garcia threw Jeff Hardy out. He flips out, turns him around, sneakily throws him, grab him from behind, and throw him out of the ring. This is where he was eliminated. Daniel Garcia's like, I did it. I finally did. I got the guy that was mocking me with that dance. And now I can finally do it with a celebration. I think he either forgot or did not give a damn what Matt Menard said. Because this is when Matt Menard's like, I told you, how many times I have to keep telling you that don't do that dance? It reminds me too much of our time at the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like, no. Like, I'm your daddy, so you Danny here, don't do that. And then this is where Daniel Garcia was acting like a rebellious son, which I was like, and I was looking like he's not, like, you're not really his daddy, like you're just playing as his dad, like because he has two dads, and not because they're it's like raised as adopted son from two gay parents, like, but that's not the case, but anyway, this is where he really started pushing because both his dads are Angelo Parker and Matt Menard and kayfabe, of course, I should say. This is where he started kicking him right into the side. This is where he started stomping on him, hitting side swipe kicks. This is where he hits a right striking hand right onto the. This is where he started double teaming. What's his name? Dustin Rhodes. This is where he knees Dustin right into the hand. This is where they started trying to double team him. This is where Max Caster tried to eliminate Juice Robinson. This is where he tried to clothesline Dustin Rhodes when Matt Menard was holding on to Dustin. This is where he tried to clothesline, but he got out of the way right on time. Dustin Rhodes got him, and he clotheslines his own best friend, Matt Menard. And he's like, "What did I just done?" And this is where he finally throws out. This is where he finally throw out Matt Menard, but Daniel Garcia throws him out right after, so they won't have to come up with an idea with this corner of this future feud with Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia. Possibly Garcia's probably gonna go babyface and then gonna keep doing that dance, and that's what's gonna get him over. Everybody's gonna start doing that dance like this, even though it's kind of cringy for me. But I think it's kind of very hilariously entertaining by watching it every week on AEW, and he does it very successfully. That's what Garcia was like. I did even though I couldn't save my best friend, but I could save myself of winning this Dynamite Battle Royal. Here's what Aubrey Edwards was telling Dustin Rhodes to get back in the. But I forgot to say one thing. This is where MJF handed him something. It looked like a toenail clipper. This is where I think he put it right onto he put on Juice Robinson at the beginning of the match. Like he put it right onto his little jetties and family jewels. I'm not sure if he ever will have a family, but this is where because he put it right onto there. It looked like some kind of sharp object. This is where he put it right on. This is where he did and he does the kick right to the midsection, but the referees didn't mind because Battle Royals are no disqualification contests. And this is where he hits him right where it hurts the most. I was like, it doesn't seem like that him and Toni Storm's going to start a family anytime soon. I was like, and I mean, she's too busy doing her thing with these portraits with Toni Storm in the timeless hour with Tony, like whatever it's called. But anyway, like with the with these segments like silent movies into the middle of the commercial breaks when they're picture-in-picture screen. And I was like, yeah, he's not going to start a family with Tony Storm anytime soon. I'll say for 2 reasons, this is going to be the definite guaranteed reason. I was like, but hopefully I didn't crown on him too much. But anyways, back to the match. This is where Daniel Garcia started doing this dance. He started doing it sideways, though. And then this is where Juice Robinson's like, all right, I have enough of you, kid. This is where he tried to throw him out, but he got eventually countered. Been thrown on the right side. Juice Robinson nearly got eliminated. This is where Daniel Garcia tried to eliminate. This is where Max Caster saved the day and threw Garcia out of there. Max Caster was like, all right, okay, just you and me now, Juice. And now I'm gonna become the new Dynamite Diamond Ring, and I'm gonna finally impress my new boyfriend, MJF. I was like, Max, like you know he's not into guys like that. Like he's not like you. He's not like trying new things and possibly being both genders preferences. I'll say both genders preferences. So you might as well give it up. No offense and no disrespect, Max Caster, but you can pick any other person. Just don't pick MJF because he's not like that kind of not that kind of guy. But yeah, this is where, if we're being honest, he may be your douchebag, but he's far from being your boyfriend. But anyways, this is where Max Caster tried to eliminate Juice Robinson to impress his so-called soon-to-be love partner, the salt of the earth, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, of course. This is where he started hitting right strikes, trying to eliminate Juice Robinson. He did a second one. And then this is where MJF was on commentary. He's like, I do not want more than a match to end up like this with both guys I cannot stand right now. And he's like, and it's double bad news. Like whoever, either way, like this is gonna be a guarantee. Like now it's starting to be a guarantee that it's gonna be bad news for me either way. Whether if it's with Max Caster or Juice Robinson or trying to win the ring, or one's trying to destroy me while the other one's trying to have a relationship with me, which is double bad. Like, ew. Like I would be, if I was in MJF's shoes, I'll be the same way right now. And not just because, and not because, I'll say not because that, I'll say the same thing. And it's not because I have hate for the LGBTQ community. It's because that I'm just not like that at all. Like but I have respect for the community though. Yeah, plenty of respect. But it just be, yeah. But anyways, this is where this is where MJF said, this is where he tried to hit the double slaps right into the head. This is where he hits a slap right to the head. This is where he hits another right hand to Juice Robinson's head. This is where he tried to go for a super kick. This is where Juice Robinson counters him. This is where he managed to get back in the ring. This is where Juice Robinson finally, and this is where they start fighting for a little bit. This is where Jay White came in. This is where he tried to attack MJF, but MJF was fighting back, started nailing some fists into Jay's face, or should I say Tofu Jay White. And then this is where he finally brought him down, like I believe was in a clothesline or with a clothesline, I believe, yeah. And then this is where he grabs the Triple B strap championship right around his waist. This is where he got vengeance, or should I say vengeance got the better of him, because he was getting ready to try to hit him with the AEW Triple B strap championship, but he got low blown right out of nowhere, right where you least expected. I was like, if I was you at MJF, I would have waited till full gear and beat him so good and finish him off and retain your AEW championship. And make matters worse for us MJF fans and MJF himself, that he stole back the AEW World Championship for the second time. Jay White still hold on to that title, but this is where Max Caster trying to get Juice Robinson out of the ring. He intercepts and outsmarted Max Caster. He eliminated him out of the ring after he hits his finishing move on him, throws him out of the ring, got the win, and he's the new number 1 contender for the Dynamite Diamond Ring next week on AEW Dynamite. And I knew this was going to come. I knew this was coming. And I thought it would be what's his name? I thought it was going to be him and Dustin Rhodes going to be the last one in the match because they were hyping up them two winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And I thought either of the two would be the last one, but I knew that Juice Robinson would win. But by eliminating Dustin Rhodes last. And that was the end of AEW Dynamite. And what do you thought about tonight's Dynamite? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And also, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure you hit the thumbs up, the huge thumbs up. Comment down below, subscribe, click the bell notification so you won't miss the latest upload, and so you can be the first one to know and be notified when I upload my next video. And yeah, I would give tonight's NXT a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I would say it may not be the best, but it sure didn't disappoint. Like, it really didn't disappoint or anything. Like the matches were pretty good. It was well put together. It told a story. Not only MJF has to worry about Tofu Jay White, but he also has to worry about his partner in crime, rock hard, talentless Tank Juice Robinson. But who do you think is going to win? Do you think Juice Robinson's finally going to be the one that's going to dethrone MJF in his Dynamite Diamond Ring? Or do you think MJF's going to win for the 5th year in a row, along with his 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022 victories from the past 4 years of AEW Dynamite? I want y'all to be the judge of that in the comment section down below. We also had some good, entertaining matches with the likes of Jay White taking on Penta El Zero Miedo. We had quite a averagely nice match with Emi Cicada, yes, Cicada. That's when Emi Cicada against Hikaru Shida, but she successfully won this title contenders match. She's not gonna face her in the upcoming weeks, and also the second match of the night, which was Kenny Omega against Kyle Fletcher. And Kyle Fletcher definitely did not disappoint in this match. He showed why he's a future big single star by facing one of the top best greats in all of sports, or all of professional wrestling right now, which is Kenny Omega. And I think, they had every single match and segments pretty good. And it was very entertaining with Max Caster still being a love stalker and a loving fanboy and feelings for MJF. Like, I think they should continue that until MJF finally shows that he's not meant for him, which he'll be kind of heartbroken about that. But no worries, he'll probably find that perfect someone. He'll probably find that person into a storyline in the upcoming weeks, I guess. But yeah, this is kind of odd though, but to talk about this because I'm not like that kind of guy. So I'm a perish the thought, talk about my next video, which I'm gonna be doing the upcoming wrestling news video, which will be part 16, I believe, 17. I already did 16. Which will be part 17. Make sure y'all check that out on the 77th episode of the SNA podcast. But I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 76th episode of the SNA podcast, which I did the AEW Dynamite Part 10. Hopefully y'all watch tomorrow's video of the wrestling news video, which I'm going to look up some of the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors on the wrestling article from Fightful. I believe Fightful, yeah. Make sure y'all check that out. And I hope y'all have a great night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And nice to see you, my friends, my folks, and my viewers. And then until tomorrow, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. Good night, everybody.